Welcome back to part 6 of our live training session here with our K24 swapped Honda Civic Si. Now in this training module, we're going to turn our attention into dialing our high cam or VTEC operation. We're going to look at part throttle, full throttle, also dialing in fuel, spark, and variable cam in both part throttle and full throttle for VTEC operation. We have a lot of things to talk about and cover here. Let's jump in so we can check this out.
Welcome back to our live training session here with our K24 swapped Civic Si. We're going to learn how to calibrate and tune our high cam or VTEC operation in this tutorial using our Emtron system. Let's jump in and talk about where we're at in the calibration process, what we need to change here, and some things we need to set up on our mainline dyno in order to do our VTEC tuning. We're going to look at how to dial fuel, spark, variable cam, also looking at our knob control in this tutorial, and then finally setting our VTEC engagement point, also looking at our part throttle, high cam, VTEC mapping in terms of our fuel. So we have a lot of things to talk about here. Let's jump in first and let's discuss what updates and things we need to change and just understanding where we're at in our calibration process. So the last tutorial, we mapped out our low cam, full throttle. And at this point, the low cam table here, so the low cam VE table here is fully dialed in. What we have here is a VE table 1 set for low cam, VE table 2 set here for high cam. And we need to go in and map out and tune our VE table 2. Now we set our VE table 1, VE table 2 blending based on Z-axis setup or control here. So we have it so that cam switch status 0 off, low cam VTEC, low cam non-VTEC I should say, is a value of 1 or table 1. High cam VTEC engagement will be using table 2. So it's literally splitting itself between table 1, table 2, low cam, high cam. It goes and it has two different VE tables. Now, why do we do this? Because on the VTEC activation, there's a completely different lift and duration profile on the cam, and the engine will act as a completely different engine. So what we'll find here is that our VE values should be higher because we're moving more airflow and the engine's going to make more power compared to low cam. What we want to do here is prep our high cam table in anticipation for mapping out here and getting into VTEC. But what we're going to do here is jump into our low cam table. And we have to look at our low cam VE values, as these are going to be starting points or reasonable starting points of what we can use on our high cam table. So what do we need to do here? I'm going to jump in and I'm going to take my table 2, looking at my values. It starts here at 2500 RPM breakpoint, ends at 9000 RPM. I'm going to go in here to my table 1 and I'm going to copy everything from 25 and above. Even though this table only goes to 8000, we'll copy this. We'll move back in here to table 2 and we're going to paste it. Now we need to go and make some update changes. 8500, we're going to copy here to 9,000. So we're going to go and just fix that point right there. And then we're just going to do some interpolation. I'm going to grab all of my values here and do a horizontal. So I'm going to do R function, which is horizontal interpolation, all the way across the table just to kind of blend this out and get this table prepped. I'm also going to do some vertical interpolation using the C function and prep this as well. So I'm just doing some blending here, just smoothing things out in the anticipation of getting into that high cam. So the values we find here will be at least reasonable starting points when we shift over to the high cam of operation. And what we need to do from here is go into our cam switched output status, or where we're controlling our VTEC, and set that up so we're locking ourselves into VTEC and being able to go in and command it at a very specific condition. We want to lock our VTEC in really low so we can get into the high cam and we can map everything out. Then we can overlay our low cam and high cam pools and figure out where the two torque curves intersect or cross. That's going to be where our VTEC activation's at. We can also look at our main VE table values and where the peak VE values are in our table that should coincide to where the two torque curves cross. And we'll discuss that a little bit later when we're setting our VTEC point. So what we want to do here is just jump from our screen right here, and we're going to move over to engine functions and move over here into the cam switch status, and we're going to go in here to the switch table. Under the switch table, we're going to have to go in and program these values. The table here is based on manifold pressure and engine speed, and we'll find we want to engage VTEC around 3000 RPM. Any lower than that, there's not adequate oil pressure in the engine built up to lock the VTEC in. We need to have about 50 pounds of oil pressure at the cylinder head in order for VTEC to lock reliably and not create some mechanical problems for us. So we're going to go here at 3000 RPM, and we're going to go from, let's say, 50 manifold pressure, 50 kPa and higher, all the way up to 7500. And we're going to go in here and we're going to put our values here at 100. 100 means that it's on, 0 means that it's off. So what we'll do here is in the outlining areas here, we're going to set this to 50. This will act kind of as a hysteresis, so it has a way that it can transition between those two areas. It's not going to be abruptly on or off. So it's going to give kind of a blending function there. We're going to lock it in here doing this doing the setup here, and this will allow us to then jump on solely to our table 2 in the VE table to map it out once we get to 3,000 RPM. Now we're going to set our dyno up so we're going to be staying at least 3,000 RPM or higher during our pulls, so we don't have to worry about dropping out of VTEC. Then when we do our part throttle mapping, we're also going to be in VTEC, and we're going to be doing that above 3,000. What I'll actually do here is just set this to 100, even in my...
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.